Good morning, students. In the previous lecture, we studied the expression of torque acted on an electric dipole in a uniform electric field. So today we are going to study continuous distribution of charge. Clear? So one by one we study what do you mean by distribution of charge. If any surface like as spherical or plane or a thin rod, a charge is given on that surface, then charge will spread out on it. This is known as distribution of charge. So there are three types of distribution of charge. One is the line charge distribution, second is surface charge distribution, and third is volume charge distribution. So one by one we study here. So first, that is line or linear charge distribution. लीनियर चार्ज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का मतलब क्या है कि अगर हम चार्ज को वन डायमेंशनल ऑब्जेक्ट पर स्प्रेड करते हैं, हमने यहाँ पर क्या एज्यूम किया है, दिस इज अ मेटेलिक रॉड, एंड इफ चार्ज प्लस क्यू इज गिवन ऑन दैट चार्ज, then this charge will spread on its length. Clear? So what amount will charge given on that rod? That is plus q. If we assume that the length of this charge is L. Clear? तो यहाँ से हमको एक टर्म्स मिलेगा जिसको बोलते हैं लीनियर चार्ज डेंसिटी. So how to study about linear charge density? Let us assume that from this segment the charge is dq and length is dl. So here in length dl charge is dq, so per unit length charge is dq by dl. This is known as charge per unit length. Clear? Charge per unit length. So this charge per unit length is called linear charge density. Clear? So I repeat again, what is linear charge distribution? When charge given on an object and the charge distributed one dimensional manner, then it is known as linear charge distribution, and charge per unit length on that object is said to be linear charge density, and linear charge density is represented by lambda. So what is the definition of linear charge density? Charge per unit length. Charge per unit length is called linear charge density. It is denoted by lambda, and the symbol of lambda is that symbol is lambda. So what is the expression of lambda? That is lambda is equal to dq by dl, and here we write the unit of lambda coulomb per meter. For total length of the rod, lambda is equal to written as q by L. So this is also a formula for linear charge density. And the second topic, that is surface charge distribution. So next topic is surface charge distribution. यहाँ पर हम क्या करेंगे, एक प्लेट को कंसीडर करेंगे और इस प्लेट का एरिया हमने एज्यूम किया है कैपिटल ए. इफ चार्ज प्लस क्यू is distributed on that surface, there is charge plus q. So distribution of charge on any surface is known as surface charge distribution. Clear? So here let us assume that area of this metallic plate is A and the charge given to this metallic plate is q. So what amount of charge in area A is, that is q. So what is the charge in per unit area, that is q by A. If we taken a small segment of this plate, so this is written as dq by dA. So from this topic again I explain another term, that is surface charge density. So here we write the definition: charge per unit area is called surface charge density. Clear? So this is the definition of surface charge density, and surface charge density represented by sigma. So here sigma is equal to dq by dA, and the unit of surface charge density is coulomb per meter square, because unit of charge is coulomb and unit of area is meter square. So this is a second topic, that is surface charge distribution. Now we come on third topic. थर्ड टॉपिक में हम स्टडी करेंगे वॉल्यूम चार्ज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. थर्ड टॉपिक, that is वॉल्यूम चार्ज distribution. Let us assume that this is a sphere and plus q charge given on that sphere and charge distributed over in volume of the sphere. So let us assume that the volume of sphere is V and charge given to sphere is Q. So what amount of charge in the volume? So in volume B, charge given to the sphere is Q. So per unit volume charge is Q by V. So here again we describes volume charge density, that is charge per unit volume is called volume charge density. So volume charge density is represented by rho. So here we write rho is equal to Q by V or dQ by dV. And what is the unit of charge density? That is coulomb per meter cube. This is also written as rho is equal to Q by V, but this is formula for total volume of the sphere. Now we study another topic, and that topic is very important for the examination point of view, that is board examinations. Many times this question is asked in your board examinations. Most important topic for board examinations, that is Gauss theorem. ये टॉपिक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है। हमने देखा होगा किसी किसी बुक में गॉस थ्योरम लिखा है, किसी किसी बुक में गॉस लॉ लिखा है। तो इसमें से क्या सही होना चाहिए, थ्योरम सही होना चाहिए कि लॉ सही होना चाहिए? तो यहाँ पे गॉस थ्योरम लिखना ज़्यादा करेक्ट होगा। क्यों? क्योंकि किसी भी लॉ को, जब किसी लॉ को किसी अनदर लॉ के द्वारा एक्सप्लेन किया जाता है तो वो कहलाता है थ्योरम। क्लियर? इसका जो गॉस लॉ का स्टेटमेंट है और फिर उसके बाद उसका डेरिवेशन है, उसमें न्यूटन्स लॉ को, कूलम्स लॉ को यूज किया गया है, कूलम्स लॉ के फार्मूले को यूज किया गया है। दैट इज F इज इक्वल टू 1/4πε0 Q1 Q2 बाई R स्क्वायर। सो इसको थ्योरम ही बोला जाएगा क्योंकि इसमें कूलम्स लॉ को यूज किए हैं। ओके, सो हियर गॉस थ्योरम is very important for the examination point of view. What is the importance of this theorem? Why we study Gauss theorem? Because we calculate electric field due to a single charge, or number of charges 2 or 3 or 4, but when charges are infinite, then with the help of parallelogram law we does not calculate the electric field by the charge. So here Gauss theorem is very important for the calculation of electric field due to an infinite number of charges. So here this is the importance of Gauss theorem. So we study about the Gauss theorem and what is the statement of Gauss theorem. From some diagram it is clear. According to Gauss theorem, if a charge encloses by an imaginary surface, this charge is point charge and the surface, closed surface, is symmetric to the distribution of charge. Because point is symmetric to the sphere, so this charge will enclosed by the sphere. If charge enclosed by the surface, then electric field comes out from the surface, and when electric field comes out from the surface, then that field lines passes from the surface, and the total number of electric field lines is known as electric flux. So electric flux यहाँ पर किसके इक्वल होगा, ये गॉस थ्योरम में बताया गया है। तो यहाँ से जो भी इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स हमको मिलेगा वो इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स किसके इक्वल होगा, ये गॉस थ्योरम ने अपने स्टेटमेंट में दिया था। तो है क्या स्टेटमेंट? द टोटल इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स, the total electric flux from any closed surface is equal to the 1/epsilon naught times of the charge encloses by that surface. Clear? So this is the statement of Gauss theorem. And what would be the expression for the flux? So here we write the expression, that is phi E is equal to closed integral of vector E dot ds vector is equal to, or dA vector is equal to q by epsilon naught. This is the expression for the flux due to any closed surface. So now we derive this expression. So here we understood how to calculate the value of electric flux by the Gauss through any closed surface. Let us assume that here is a surface element, that is dA. If this is an electric field due to charge plus q, and this arrow represent area vector of this surface element. Since the direction of electric field and area vector are same, so angle between these vector is 0. Clear? Here we observe that if radius of a sphere is r, then what would be the electric field at that point? We have already studied the electric field due to a point charge, that is E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. So these are points that will remember always. Electric field due to a point charge at r distance, that is E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. And second thing, integration of ds means total surface area of the sphere, that is always equal to 4 pi r square. This relation is useful for the derivation of Gauss theorem. So here we derive Gauss theorem, proof Gauss theorem. The electric flux from closed surface, that is phi E is equal to vector E dot d vector A. In class 11th we study vector E dot V is equal to AB cos theta. Clear? Where theta is the angle between vector A and vector V. So here we write E dA cos 0, because angle between E and dA is 0. So here E take common from integration sign and here write dA. What will be the value of E? We already write here E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square, and dA means this is right at ds r dA. These are same, 4 pi r square. So here we write 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square multiplied by 4 pi r square. 4 pi r square cancel to each other. So finally we get phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. This is the statement or expression of the Gauss theorem. So this is the last topic of today. So now we discuss next topic in the next lecture, that is application of Gauss theorem. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.